be a record.
Oh, no, Bill's got the record.
Not in a
He's got the record.
record-setting mood.
There you go.
Well, no, it was 6 minutes, wasn't it?
It was short.
Something like that.
Okay, we up? I
We
guess
ready?
we are, okay?
Good.
Surprise.
Hello.
Okay, meeting, called to order at 5:33. Everybody had a chance to, read the minutes,
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes as written,
as printed.
as written.
All in favor?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any bills?
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you initial the second page? I've got the lipstick.
But either way, don't matter, yeah, I've got my, travel reimbursement, but I forgot to bring it.
Okay.
so.
Joe, activity doesn't. Yeah, you keep it all out of there.
Okay, is that it for the bill?
That's it?
Correspondence?
That's it.
Actually, we have a couple, right? We have one for Baker,
Yes, I'm sorry, it's in there.
it's in the pile.
Yep, in the back.
I'll read that in. Continue
And it's
that.
probably not the whole thing, it's probably just that last one on top.
Did you reflect what we did in the office?
Get them all.
Okay.
And we also have this from the planning board, right?
Yes.
So
That's-
is this correspondence?
That, yeah, that's more or less for you. I don't think we need to correspondence, actually, FYI for you.
Oh, okay,
Okay?
great. Okay, from a correspondence point of view, we have notice from the planning board of a public hearing notice scheduled for Thursday, March 19th at 6 PM in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, 558 South Main Street. Okay. Evidently, it's for an amendment. Or Appendix B, history of amendment to the rules and regulations governing the subdivisions of land. Okay, any person wishing to be heard or interested in the proposed amendment should appear at the time above and place designated. A complete copy of the amendment may be viewed at the Raynham Town Clerk's office or the Planning Board office. So we don't have the whole,
It's
Detail,
just a
yeah.
notification that they're gonna have that meeting.
okay?
Okay?
All right, we also had correspondence from Andrea Coates, DOT, concerning follow-up to the RK planting. They've recommended a series of species that they would like to see planted in that area, which we've already had communication with. And this has also been, I believe, rescheduled, postponed until the April.
April 1st.
April 1st meeting.
Correct.
So we'll just read that into the record. Okay, any other correspondence?
That's gonna be it.
Okay. Any site visits, no? Okay. I'll skip the first one.
Yep.
Continuing enforcement, that's been rescheduled for April 1st. Okay, on the informal, we have modification at DEP file number SC 2690725 Walmart, 160 Broadway, map 7, partial 13, Boulder Engineering. This is what we talked about.
That's the one we talked about, and Bill just wanted to, take a look at it, and then,
Right, so,
so I don't know if he, took a look at it, and if he has any more comments, otherwise we'll recommend that we modify that.
I'm here for that.
okay,
Okay.
state your name for the record, please.
Yep, good evening, Jim Cranston with Bowler Engineering, representing Walmart. Does everybody have a copy of the sketch that was submitted? I have some copies
This
here.
one here?
but I'll get- Pass it around. I'll wait till everybody gets the sketch.
Well said.
Oh, no.
During, during construction, Chris
Yeah,
Gallagher,
I guess this is the same thing, huh?
had asked that we revisit the layout for the pump station, the pump house and the driveway.
Yeah.
I don't
Um,
need it.
You want it?
We already looked at it.
Okay.
wanting to put the driveway on the north side, and we actually ended up pulling the building and the driveway further away from the wetland buffer. So in the approved layout, everything was outside of the buffer. What was actually built is still outside of the buffer, just further away. We had submitted for a certificate of compliance, and pointed out that change, and then it was requested that we come before you to modify the prior approval before we close it out. So that's why we're here before you tonight.
Okay. So the red delineation on the plan shows the adjustment,
Correct.
the a so-called modification that was made.
And black is what was
Yep.
previously approved under the order.
Did you have a chance to look at this, Azu?
So you
Yeah.
move closer to
You
the
moved closer,
wetlands.
you said you,
The building is closer than the former building, but the total build-out is
It's
6
less.
feet further away.
But the elevation changes in the property, the grade changes, I don't see them reflected here. Were there any grade changes that took place as a result of,
I think that because we're further away, we would have done less grading at the buffer itself.
see what you think and what actually happened are two different things. Because this was supposed to have taken place 2 years ago during construction, in the beginning of construction, when the property flooded and the house next door got flooded. And they said they were gonna make changes, and I was standing there,
I'm not sure.
and you were told to come in for a minor modification. So, were there elevation changes or weren't there?
Quite honestly, I don't know. I'm assuming that the building would not have changed elevation, and I don't know anything about any flooding discussions that were on site.
You wanna look at the big plans, Bill?
If someone had asked to come before the town for modification, then I don't know why we wouldn't have done that.
No, you didn't.
We did.
We did, I was standing there. Where's proposed and where's,
That's the original plan. Okay.
Maybe do you have the grading plan? Maybe? Is that one of the plans that you had, or no? Are they both site plans?
just looks like a site plan. Do you have a grading plan?
I don't have a grading plan with me now.
We had one before.
This is the one that we had downstairs.
What was the date on that?
2012?
Yeah, see, that's the.
So that's not an as-built.
No, that's
That's
the-
not the as-built.
That's the
And the
original.
as-built should reflect the grades on it, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Does?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
And
know
there
if this
is,
the one.
does it show the changes on
There was
it?
one from, that was signed by a surveyor.
There's your as-built.
Yeah,
Just, yeah, it's built too.
shows the grades.
Three, 14.
From.
you have to open up the other ones.
You know, I think really the issue at the end of the day is that they did it ass backwards, if that is an English word. But, it's a phrase, but at the
It's
end of,
like everything else with this project was
yeah,
done.
but at the end of the day, it's, you know,
But when
having-
when they had the issue,
yeah,
though this is out of the buffer zone, this is a perfect example of why we take, when you work in the buffer zone and your project has buffer zone in it, the whole project becomes
Right.
part of the notice of intent. Because when this happened, it flooded and silt was down in the wetlands.
What flooded?
when this whole area flooded during construction, and they made these changes, determined these changes had to be made, that everything had flooded at that point. I'm not gonna make any motions, if somebody else wants to, they can, but my motion would be to deny. You guys do what you want.
Did they made the corrections as needed?
The issue here is, at the end of the day, yes, you have a impact during construction, there's no doubt about that.
Right.
And they were told what to do. And it's very frustrating that, companies that have the capacity to follow the regulations, just kind of bully their way through and give us after the fact. But I think that is why if you look at the new orders that we've written, that we have a special there that says both the applicant and the contractor must come in here and sign a statement that they read and understood the order of conditions and will be bound by the order. So that way they can make excuse for something like this. So,
That's the order of conditions we have in front of us tonight.
right, you can see that because of issues like this, we've tried to address that in subsequent orders for projects that we issue. But, did they have construction impact? Yes, they did. Will the change result in permanent, flooding or, impact? No. So, I don't think at the end of the day, that it
We
should.
don't have the order of conditions.
At the end of the day, it should be a non-issue.
Right.
The problem is that it's 2 years later.
Right.
They tried to skip over this stuff, got caught, and I'm the one who instructed them. And then the gentleman that they send out here to deal with us has no prior knowledge
Right.
of the issues that went on in the
need to
site.
see that.
So once again, Bowler Engineering has
We have to
tried to
sign.
blow off Raynham Conservation Commission, and I take it personally.
Wouldn't that, we need to look at.
Well, you've had an option. If you say your motion will be to deny, you can deny, but I don't know what it accomplishes. I mean, other than the fact
The
that
rest
they.
of the commission can vote to
No,
approve
no,
it.
other than the fact
No,
that,
okay.
other than the fact that they will not get a certificate of compliance if you vote to, you know what I'm saying? Because you cannot deny it wouldn't make sense to deny the modification and then issue a certificate of compliance.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So, but it's your prerogative, but I'm not sure at the end of the day what remedy you could have. Now, if it was a case where you have an ongoing violation during construction, then we could have issued stop work order and then
And
find
we came
them.
very close at that point.
Right,
But things-
okay, and we didn't do
But
that.
we didn't.
But we
So-
did,
I have one question for you.
because
sir.
they were told to.
Yeah.
I realize you're coming in today, and
He doesn't have the
what
history.
part did you have of this overall project?
I was involved in some of the construction questions that came up, dealt with the contractor at different phases.
Okay. Who from your company would have been responsible for the issue we're talking about here?
Which is going back 2 years, right?
Yeah, John Cusick.
John Cusick was the
John
project
Cusick.
manager involved. And it's my understanding that when we submitted for the original request for the certificate, we pointed out that this was different, it wasn't something that we were trying to
Well,
hide.
no, but it doesn't matter that you pointed it out. The
No,
fact
but it
is that,
sounds-
So-
It makes it sound like we're trying to slip one under.
no, but the
I
fact,
pointed
no,
out that it was different.
no, but you
Why?
see,
It's a
when you have,
procedural thing.
when you have the chairman of the commission come out of the job site and say, okay, we'll let you keep going, but do X, Y, Z, and then you shove it under, the,
Yeah, I
under
wasn't aware of that.
I would-
well, that's why that's why they have you show up.
I
So
would
that
make the
you,
motion that we postpone this until Mr. Cusack, is that pronouncing it right? Cusick comes here and explains to the commission what happened.
why they didn't follow through with the request that,
Why didn't he go for the minor modification when he was told to?
I'm not thinking about,
Might as well get it right from the
yeah.
person's
I
mouth.
prefer that versus voting.
Yeah, I
against
don't
it.
wanna beat you up because you weren't there. So
Yeah.
let's get the person that was responsible, get him here and let him answer the questions. So that's in the form of a motion.
I think the
Go ahead,
original.
if someone wants to second it for discussion.
Part of the reason why I'm here is, I think the original response I got back from someone at the time was that we don't have to be here tonight, so.
Yeah, I told you,
Just as
you're
a
right.
safety precaution.
Right.
Hey, let's send someone there.
Well, you showed up and you
Walk
create,
through
you
it.
showed up and you create more
So
problems.
That's why.
That's why you're told not to show
No, I
up,
just
so
wanna
we can
say
get it
that's why
done.
I'm here. If it was a response of, oh, yes, you need to be there,
No, no, you were specifically told no, that we'll take care of it.
Postpone and have the guy.
I will,
I don't see the point of.
I don't either.
Having them do that.
There are people who aren't getting paid because of this
Yeah,
not being done. It's not gonna change anything.
right.
My point is, when you come in front of a commission and you request a chairman to be present during an issue on site, at least have the courtesy to follow through with it. So as a point of record, which this is, there'll be minutes to this meeting, it's not being done the way it was supposed to be done by Bowler Engineering. Bowler Engineering totally disregarded what I had said and requested on site during this initial visit. And I want everyone to know that I'm not happy about it.
And they should then leave put a black mark on Bowler, no pun intended. So.
Everybody knows that when they're involved in a project, they don't care what we say. Good luck to you.
Well, I think what we can do going forward is issue an enforcement order, which we probably should have done at that time. That way we have a record to keep them track, as well as give us some leverage in any penalties that we
It
want
was
to.
the
Correct.
big companies coming in, pushing around moving.
I don't see a purpose of continuing to beat this. I mean, they did the modification, it's done. So I would
And it's
entertain a
functioning,
motion to.
and it's
approve-
functioning well, I guess.
I would entertain a motion to approve the modification as well as the certificate of compliance.
Just for point of reference, the motion was made, seconded to call.
I
so
I
you have
didn't
to-
hear a second on
No,
that.
there was no second.
Did
I
you-
didn't
Oh,
say
I'm sorry.
No, there's no second.
Disregard, okay.
There's no second, David.
Do you want to pursue that? We can.
No, I thought there was second, so we just have to
No.
procedurally vote that down.
No, there's no second to that motion. I'll second.
I can't make a
Oh,
motion.
you made the motion. We're gonna make a motion? Are you,
Which motion are we on? We still on Dave's?
no, no.
Oh,
Well,
boy,
To
might never get
approve the
second.
modification.
to approve the modification is what,
That's what we have to do first.
all right, I'll make the motion then that we approve the modification.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
abstain.
Opposed.
All opposed?
I'm opposed also. You have two opposed, two yays, and one abstain.
So it doesn't carry.
That's right.
Okay. If we-
Motion to
All right.
revote.
Second?
What are we motioning at this time?
He asked for,
Take a new vote.
he asked for a new vote,
Okay.
and I seconded his
Okay.
request to second. In other words, he wants you to vote
Right.
again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
3-2.
Motion carries.
Okay. Now, the subject of certificate of compliance.
So, for the certificate of compliance. And then you need they need a
I
motion.
need a motion for the certificate of compliance approval.
So moved.
I have a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed.
Aye.
3-2. I mean, you gotta move forward. We can't continue to beat this.
Okay, see, yeah,
So-
next time, really, listen to what you guys are told. See, this, actually, this will actually be a second, it's all done, that's why I'm with it.
See, if
But
we-
see, this is a second of telling them something, and then them not listening, or he didn't the one that told you guys. Leave it alone, we'll take care of it, so that we don't get into
There
this
was
circus.
more than one meeting
into
on
this
site about
circus.
this exact issue. Cusack was there for one of those meetings. So I tell Cusack, he better not come back in this town again and
First
expect
time I've heard
anything.
feedback like that about
This whole project from day one, from day one of construction, was an issue. You tried to put in new plans that weren't part of the order of conditions, and it just went the whole time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I will do the paperwork and it will be out, I'll send it out certified mail.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, other informal business, discussion regarding changes to the Raynham Conservation Bylaw, Article 29, Section 7-1, Paragraph F. You got this one, Gail?
Yeah, this is the paragraph that talks about deadlines of the applications. Right now, it's 2 Mondays before the meeting date, which does not give the applicant enough time and enough leeway to advertise in the newspaper. I'm looking just to take it out of bylaws and put it in our regulations. If there's ever a schedule change, if for some reason Zoo has to change his days of coming in, we can have more flexibility of changing the time, the days that we.
Without having to go through the
Without having
bylaw.
to go through the bylaw.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna take it out, we're not gonna take it out completely, leave a note saying to, please see the regulations for the deadlines for applications. And then I will put it in the regulations instead.
But making this change requires a
Town meeting.
Not
yeah.
Right.
town meeting.
And this
Right.
has to be presented to, Randy before the March 31st,
And then-
to go on the,
And
No,
then
the
any
warrant.
modifications to the regulations require a public hearing, as
Yeah.
well as approval by the selectmen and
Correct.
this board.
Right.
Okay.
I have one more thing. And I don't know if we have to take them up separately. But as far as the bylaw goes, is there any way that on the local side of the bylaw, we can require that all fees and taxes on a piece of property be paid before they receive an approval from this commission?
Oh, yeah, you can, under the local bylaw.
Would it be a regulation, or would we do it in the bylaw?
If you
side?
do it in the bylaw side, it will carry more weight.
Okay. So do you wanna take these up as two separate things?
They sort of have
Well,
to.
yeah, it is,
Okay.
because it's a totally new proposal.
Okay.
So we need to draft the language.
Right, let's vote on this change tonight.
Motion to,
And then we can add.
Draft the
to
language
that
for
and
that.
bring it
Work
up
on
at
the
next
language,
meeting.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right, so, I need a motion, please.
Motion to propose the amendment for Article 29, Section F, the strike-through.
I'll second that motion.
All in
No,
favor?
excuse me,
Oh, oh.
Section 7-1, paragraph F.
7-1, right.
Yeah,
Stand corrected. Thank you, Isaiah.
7-1, paragraph F.
So it's motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, when's the,
how
town
do
meeting?
we,
They haven't gotten a date for the town meeting, but all
So we have
articles
plenty
have
of
to be
time to
in.
get
we have time, because you have
well, we have one more meeting.
one more meeting, yeah, what we'll do is we'll draft that next week, email it to you guys,
Do
and
we have to have a public hearing for that in order?
for you to, no,
Just to approve.
because you're proposing a bylaw, you don't need a hearing
Okay,
to
I
propose a
just wanna
bylaw.
make sure that
No.
if we do, then we have to do it at the next meeting.
No,
Yeah.
no, it'll be a
Because- Because it's going to town meeting.
right,
That's,
Right.
right.
Okay.
So basically what will be an amendment to the bylaw by adding a section,
Correct.
because we're gonna be adding a new section.
Right.
Yep.
has there been any other
But is-
changes?
I'm just questioning, because we just read a thing from the planning board that they're changing their bylaw and holding. a
No,
public
they're
hearing.
changing rules and regulations of subdivision, rules and regulations.
Rules and regulations.
Correct.
They're changing subdivision rules and regulations, that's not a bylaw. It comes, the planning board doesn't operate under the bylaw, they operate under the,
Yeah, they changed the rules.
rules and regulations,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
What,
they,
what are we looking for? I mean, taxes,
well, you want them to obtain a municipal lien certificate, just like the planning board requires,
before any, well,
before, at the time of filing.
at
So,
the time of filing.
right,
Correct.
right.
So if you were looking to do a building permit to put an addition on your house, but you have a lien on your house for taxes, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to get a
Why would
permit.
you-
If you're
why would
looking at a piece of land that has 100 lots on it, and it owes $500,000 in
Yeah.
back taxes,
Taxes, you
And they're
pay
coming from-
taxes
yeah.
before.
before you come to
But
us,
wouldn't that be stalled at the planning board?
No, because.
because they come to us first.
Right.
No, no, because if they already have also an approved subdivision, or it's an existing subdivision,
They don't
like
have to
what,
go
like
back
what
to the
happened in
planning
the Queen Circle,
Yep,
they
okay.
wouldn't have to go back to the planning board.
Actually, in the, if we pass this bylaw and someone has an NOI, order of conditions, for a subdivision that they only sell 2 lots on and they still have 10 more to go and it goes to run out, and they come in for an extension, the extension wouldn't be granted unless the tax.
Well, because that's a permit.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're
but
doing
am I
it for
right?
permit, yeah, it's a
That's-
permit.
Uh,
So
Is
it'd be
that-
written
is
for
that
all
done in-
permits.
Is that done in other towns as well, or is that?
Oh, yeah, the town of Rockland does that.
Okay.
Yeah, town of, the city of Brockton.
Okay,
We've
That
had it
makes
come
sense.
through
Yeah.
in the last year
yeah,
with this situation. So,
okay.
I
As a
feel,
matter of fact, even the town of East Bridgewater, even it requires that you post a bond with them.
Can you-
For the work.
Can you draft language
Yeah.
around that and give it to Bill for
Yeah.
approval, and then we
Yeah.
can all see it?
Yeah.
And talk about it,
yeah,
okay?
the sooner the better, so that we
It has
can
to
bounce
be,
it around
Yeah, yeah.
before the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you want it, you've gotta approve it on the 18th,
right.
definitely.
Yeah.
You have to, because that's the only meeting you have before the March deadline.
Okay. Moving along, on the formal, we need to read, Paul, please.
Nope, I
It's
don't
just
think.
issue, it's just
no.
issuance.
No, that's
It's
just,
just
you already
issuance.
closed the hearings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Right.
you're just
Okay.
issuing of,
I'm
order
just-
of conditions.
I'm learning.
It's all right, it's all right.
Okay.
So we just sign
oh,
off, right?
Well, not, well, we wanna talk about it. Approval of issuance of order of conditions, DEP file SE 2690912, 513 Church Street, map 18, partial 19, Riverfront LLC. You should
Bill?
have that, in front of you, in your pile.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to just make a minor correction on number 2 at the bottom. Presently, it says, "No site work is authorized beyond this point." Even our minutes reflect the wording, "No work beyond this point." That's the way we've been doing it for quite a while. And to me, no site work, means I can, alter the land up until the hay bales, and then I could do other stuff beyond that. If you have the wording "no work," that means you can enjoy the protected area behind the hay bales, but you can't do anything out there.
And that's consistent with language
That's consistent with what we've used
before.
in the past.
Okay.
Did you do that in the form of a motion?
Yeah,
Yes,
I made a second one.
did you?
So take out site.
Take out the word site.
Strike the
and
word site.
authorized,
And authorized.
just
Well,
so,
well-
no work beyond this point.
No, because you are issuing an order of conditions. And you are not saying, you are the approving authority. You're saying you are not authorizing any work beyond this point.
Yeah, I think authorized can stay, it's still,
That's not consistent with what
site
we've done
work.
before, though.
so no work.
So you're saying no work,
Beyond this point, that's what
Beyond this
we
point is-
have made other homeowners in the past.
so strike the word site,
Yeah.
okay.
And just keep the, authorized.
If we keep the authorized,
Yeah.
we're not gonna
Words
stay
authorized
consistent
beyond this
unless we
point.
want to,
Yeah,
change.
because,
from here
because,
Make the
forward.
no,
changes now.
because down the road, let's say a tree, like that guy on, what was that called?
Carver?
Huh?
Carver Street?
On Carver Street.
But
You
we-
got a trees that fell and, okay, he's gonna come back here and ask you, then you might authorize that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, yeah, I mean, I can buy that,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, that's
Strike the word site. then.
site, yeah.
So
Site.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna strike it on the special conditions, and we're gonna strike it in the standard conditions, cause
Yeah,
that's where the
yeah,
changes were made.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I will we can take both of them out, so it has to be done in the special.
Just take out the word site.
There is a motion, is there a second?
Yes.
Bill second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right, let's make those changes.
Would
You
you
have to do it for
would
each
like a
one.
motion to issue now?
So we need a motion to approve this special condition.
I'll make a motion,
With the
With-
change
with the-
as meant.
with
I'll
the
make a motion
modification.
for the approval of the issuance of the order of condition with the special conditions that were just changed.
You need to redefine.
Yep, I haven't got there yet. For DEP file number SC 269-0912, 513 Church Street, map 18, parcel 19, Riverfront LLC.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
So that means you need to approve that order so you can sign the order.
Right.
But it just did,
We just
so, so I can sign up.
Is this all
Yeah,
one
that's
order?
just, I just made it easy for you guys, so you don't have to flip it up.
Okay, approval and issuance of order conditions, DEP file number SE 2690911, 252 Britton Street, map 4, partials 11 and 12, Daniel DeRosa.
Then this says,
Same thing.
Motion,
Put in the same thing.
motion to strike the word site out of paragraph 4
And in the standard.
in the standard conditions.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion for approval of the issuance of the order conditions for DEP file number SC 269-0911, 252 Britton Street, map 4, parcels 11 and 12, Daniel DeRosa, with, as amended with the special conditions that were in the previous motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval and issuance of order conditions, DEP file number SE 2690908, Raynham Board of Sewer Commissions, Phase 6 Sewer Expansion, contract number 4 and 5.
I'll make a motion that we issue the order conditions for DEP file number SC 269-0908, Raynham Board of Sewer Commissioners, Phase 6 Sewer Expansion Contracts 4/5.
Changes to.
With changes?
No, no
No,
change
there's no
on this,
changes on this.
because they're not gonna go, there's no
No
25 feet.
changes, right?
Oh, but
The-
Right.
the
They
site.
don't have that
Okay, all
restriction.
right,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, no,
Darn, you're
they
right,
don't
I'm
have
sorry.
that, because that's not private
You're right.
So
property.
we're just
yeah.
issuing, so,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
One more motion.
slow down there. Happy?
I'm gonna sign these before we close the
Call you
hearing.
when I get called tonight. You can come play.
Okay. One thing that's not on the agenda that I'd like to just do a brief discussion about. As you know, we tried to contact the attorney concerning hunting on conservation land or town land for that matter. Town manager Randall Buckner took a look at it and gave us a correspondence back believing that we have the authorization to grant or not grant hunting on our conservation land. We don't have to defer to anyone else. However, that being said, I think it is in our own best interest to have a public hearing concerning such discussion before we as a board decide whether we want to permit it or not permit it on said land. So, do we want to bring that up as a topic of discussion and open it up as a public hearing? Or do we want to just vote on it?
Well, Andy, what would be the purpose, I'm just curious, what would be the purpose of the commission deciding to vote on whether to allow hunting or not? We already state hunting
Well,
requirements.
Yeah, but historically,
Yeah.
the town has always, or the commission has always prevented hunting on conservation land. And the town has also prevented hunting on town land. That's currently Borden Colony, for example.
Borden colonies
That's a little
regulated
different.
by the state.
And
DCI.
it's being presently used,
For agriculture.
for agricultural. So you can't lump Borden Colony in there. It's under
Well,
state, it may be under
Mr.
our
Buckner gave that as
umbrella,
an
but it's
example.
still under the state guideline. I personally don't think we have the authorization as a commission to make such a drastic change without holding a public hearing. If you're
Well,
gonna
this-
leave,
this-
if you're gonna leave it as is, no need for a public hearing. If you're thinking about changing it, I would vote for definitely a public hearing.
Well, the current website says there's no hunting on, I think, 3 particular pieces of property.
Right.
Hewitt, what was the other 2?
Dam lot.
Dam Lot Brook,
Yep.
as well as, there was one other. I'd have to go online and look. That's already a precedent's been set, it's already been identified as no hunting.
Well, then just leave it at those.
Do we want to just leave it alone?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's the smartest thing, that
Yeah.
anyone in
I don't think
between
there's
these
a
two
problem.
people on the other end each,
I don't think there's been a problem out there that
Probably
I've
not.
ever heard of.
the whole thing has been clarification, because I know of hunters who have wanted to hunt
Well, the thing is, you
one
have,
piece and just have
well,
permission to do it.
well, you have a letter that says you have the authority to do it, but it doesn't
Well,
mean that.
we don't have a legal opinion, we have the town manager saying that he believes that we do have the
Oh.
authority to do that.
But that's,
So even that's kinda gray.
that's just an opinion.
do we have any historical records of when those 3 lots were? So it's just on the website, on our town website?
I have a question for the hunters who know the laws. Piece of town property. You're supposed to have a letter from the property owner in order to hunt on their property,
No,
or only if it's posted?
only if it's posted. Do you need written
These-
permission to be on
these-
property?
Well, the Hewitt's posted, I don't know about the other 2.
That's okay, I'm not, but you understand what my
The question
question
is,
was.
who posted it?
Right, and that's,
And we don't know.
Did some neighbor just go along and start putting up posted signs?
No, it was actually right on
The
the
pole.
sign for the poles. for
Well,
the-
once again, my question is,
Don't know.
Well, that's,
see,
But it's there, as well as it's on the website, so I would think.
it says you have to go 65 on the highway, do you?
well, who posted on the website? It was all before everybody
Yeah,
at this
no.
table's time, and if there's no historical data,
I-
that's why a public hearing may
It sounds
clear
like
the
some-
air.
It sounds like
Either
somebody
yea or
found
nay.
it and then they posted it on the website. Well, I could have posted it if I were doing making it the
Can I ask you a
website.
question? How did this come up again?
We-
Well, this came up with,
And I
with
had-
with the idea that we're going to put new signs
And
on all
we've
of
had,
these pieces of
we've also
property.
had, Bill, we've also had complaints too, 2 complaints.
And we've had 2 complaints.
2 complaints.
That the individual felt that hunting wasn't allowed on these properties, and he saw hunters there. All right, now,
Call the
it's-
police.
It's relative to us, because we're gonna put new signage up, and if we put new signs up, we wanna have that wording
Or
on the
not.
sign, or
So
not.
this is Kevin's fault.
This is Kevin.
Basically.
Thanks, thank you.
leave one enough alone.
I have to tell you that if a vote comes up one way or the other, I would side on the hunter's side of the line.
Mhm.
So,
Is that a threat?
No, it's just,
Which is fine, you know what? If,
I have no gun.
if the public comes
I
here
don't hunt,
and they're all for it, you know, and they want,
and if my
To
kids are
allow it?
watching today, I'm dead when I get
know,
home, so.
you know, if the public comes and they wanna have it, then we work for the public. You know, that's what they want, that's what we'll do. But I think for the board, just to make an opinion, a judgment without having, you know, input.
Well,
It could be an empty room like this tonight, and it could be crickets in here, and,
I still would like to have some kind of precedent and find out how this, and I don't know.
We
know
we
how we
tried,
can
and we
find
can't
it.
find any.
How come the attorney won't answer?
But they just
Give it a
out of the
thing.
blue said, hey, you can't hunt here?
Well,
Some
the-
commission,
the-
10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago?
Bill was on it, you should know, 15, 20
Randy
years ago.
took it, intercepted, and this is what he thought. I don't believe he sent it to the attorney. We can always ask him to forward it to the
Of
attorney.
course, if we vote it down, you as a hunter could take us to court.
What
Challenge the
about
ruling.
liability, though?
Huh?
What about the liability on the property?
Do we have liability insurance on the property now?
I mean, that, you know,
Well, that's
But
true for
you could
anything.
say,
Somebody
you could say the same thing
trip and
about
fall.
somebody walking a dog.
Right.
They trip over a root, break a leg.
But, okay, we can't debate this any longer
All
unless we
right,
have a public hearing.
so put it up for a public hearing then.
Right, why don't we publish it as a open public hearing discussion, and we can talk freely about it, and we can all come to grips with it all. Does that make sense?
I think we got another 3-2 coming up.
Gil, do we have enough time to publish before the next meeting in 2 weeks?
It doesn't have to
you're
be
just gonna
done.
put it on the agenda,
Well-
correct?
Oh, no, it's gonna be
Be
published.
published
in
in the
public
newspaper?
hearing.
No, you gotta, yeah, you gotta.
Because I know the spring eventually will be here, and we'd like to get the signs in the ground, so.
Yeah, as soon as the snow melts.
So you can do it in the first meeting in April, anyway. You got
But don't we
time.
have,
Work on it.
but aren't we, we also already have RK
So-
on the
so we
agenda for
don't-
April. I don't know how much time
We
it's gonna
can't
take.
just put it on the agenda, we have to publish it in the paper?
Yeah, because it's a public hearing, policy making, it's like a regulation.
Okay,
That's why I was asking if we had time. I think the next meeting may,
Yeah, but RK is not something that will take a lot of time.
Do we want to wait to see if Brandy's gonna send it to the attorney?
that could push us out several months.
I make a motion, we leave it alone till we hear from the attorney,
Town council.
town
Second.
council.
I would agree with that, because there are too many questions here, the answers to which we don't have. And if you have the public out there asking us questions, well, the logical questions, well, who posted the signs on the current? I don't know. Well, that's no answer, and then
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we get 20 hunters in here, this is
With
what I
guns.
want.
Can you follow up with Randy
I will.
and see that he
So I
forwards
would
it to the
agree
attorney?
that-
Yes.
So that we can get a legal opinion before we move forward with
Yes.
this?
and I would even go one step further if possible, is if it does come to a public hearing, that we have town council here present to address any questions that may or may not arise.
Let me get,
That's money, that's expense.
Not for
cost.
us.
Not forget, we're all volunteers. We do this for the love of the town.
That's my budget you're talking about.
No, it's
My
not.
budget,
Town council
that's
is
Gail's budget.
selected.
She's got the keys to the
Seven.
kingdom.
Yeah, she's gonna watch them.
Somebody's gotta pay for the town council to appear.
Yeah, selectmen do. don't
well,
they?
I think there's a lot
Do
more
a motion, a
discussion has to be
second, to
done
wait.
before. There's a motion, by the way, on the floor,
You
Mr.
know
Chairman.
about that
Okay.
Gail's eyes too.
The motion is to wait for the opinion from town council.
And a
Do we have a second?
It was seconded by Bill.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
One more motion you want, right?
Okay, I need another motion, gentlemen.
Adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I knew it.
There's always one.
Sometimes I like doing names and everything, just to
Give us
keep
an update
everybody.
on signs by next week.
I already have an update. I just need the wording.
Keep them alive, right?